Hello, social media. Hello to all of you. Welcome to Lakitatsharpe's famous exclusive inspirational channel. I am so happy that you are here on today. And thank you so much for joining me. Hello to all of you, no matter what you are going through, no matter what you are dealing with, release it, okay? Because this is our moment. This is your moment. Yes, this is our therapeutic moment, right? So relax. It's all good. So, welcome to one of the greatest shows in the universe. So, thank you so much for watching me on today. Thank you all. So, what day is this? This is Monday, right? It is Monday and it's July 21st. Wow, it's July 21st. And it is 10:13 p.m. So yes, it's almost Tuesday, should I say. So we are here and welcome. Check out my books over at Amazon.com. There are over 100 books for you to choose from over at Amazon.com. So check out my books Unstoppable and check out the Lakitatsharpe success story from struggle to success. Yeah. So yes. All right. So you guys, I want to say it is hard to move forward in life when you are reminded of your past. It is hard to move forward in life when you are reminded of your past. How many of you have been in situations where you are reminded of your past and you are trying to move forward? I have. I've been in situations, I've been in relationships, even my family, when they argue, they talk about the past all the time. Also when you're married, your spouse brings up past things and you're trying to move forward. You're trying to, move forward in life. But they keep reminding you of past things. You are a new person. You are becoming a new person. And you are just literally being reminded of your past, So yes, it is hard when you are trying to go and, head to another place in life. And, sometimes the enemy speaks through our family. I mean, sometimes you got some people that he uses and he know that he can sit there and use, And I try to make sure that I'm careful so I don't be used by the enemy and that I can be used by God and not by the enemy. Because a lot of godly people, the enemy tends to use godly people more than anybody, because why? Sometimes, Christians are not in control of their emotions, or they are just allowing themselves to be out of control, and if you're not careful, you can be used by the enemy and God all at the same time. So it's just crazy, crazy things. So it's so great to have your ways submitted to God so that you can be used only by him. I gotta tell you, so I know you're trying to move forward. And you have voices in the background, the voices in your household, and they're telling you, they're reminding you of, maybe you got divorced you divorce from, and your kids remind you of mommy, 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 you divorced daddy, and hey, hey, you're like the worst person in the world, or the other way around, daddy, daddy, you divorce mom, or or your husband reminding you of, maybe you cheated on your husband. So you're like, look, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. And he or your spouse or your woman, wife constantly reminds you of the things that you have done in the past, and you're like, that's over. That's over. How many of you been there? You did stuff in the past that you like, I'm not proud of, but I did it. Oh, look, I'm not going to lie to you. Yes, I have done some things. Before I gave my life to God, I have done some things and truly moved on from some things and grew from some things as well. You know what I mean? So I just want you to know that, you know, you're trying to move forward. You gotta, one thing, first of all, today's affirmation, it says, today I will forgive. Today I will forgive any past mistakes I have made and love myself unconditionally. Now, you gotta know, I gotta tell you something that one of the enemy tactics is. The enemy will always try to remind you of your past. Always try to remind you of your past to make you feel guilty or to make you feel bad, and as you're trying to become a better version of yourself. So I want you to know that. So you just have to, if your family's gonna remind you of the past, and you already know they're gonna talk about past things. You already know when you go to the family reunion, when you go to family picnics, when you go to family cookouts, whatever, they're gonna talk about past things. Past things. When you are a different person, you are a new person. Hello, hello, can we holla? Holla! So, you gotta know that the past may be brought up. You get what I'm saying? The past may be brought up at times when you don't even want to even think about it. It's things that you don't even want to think about anymore. And then your husband or your wife come to you, or your child, and they are reminding you of all the bad things you did. And you're like, how can I move on with my past if they keep reminding me of my past when I'm trying to move on to the future? I'm moving in the future and you're reminding me of the past. It's almost like you got to move out the household so you don't got to deal with the yelling and the fussing and the complaining of you. I can say one thing. You want to know what being married is like? You want to know what being in a relationship is like? It's like someone reminding you of your faults. Unless you are in a relationship where you don't experience that at all, congratulations. That's a good one. But it reminds you of your faults. So if you want to be reminded of, hey, your shortcomings, a relationship will show you yourself. And I'm being real honest with you. A relationship will show you yourself, and constantly somebody is pointing at you what you did wrong. Maybe you didn't fold the clothes right. So, you didn't fold the clothes right. You didn't put on the children clothes right. You didn't do this. You didn't cook this right. This is okay. Maybe you should do this. You should do that. Now, keep in mind, there are some things that, yes, we can work on as an individual. You get what I'm saying? As an individual, we can grow in certain areas that our partner may point out, But in some cases, but when you're constantly reminded of things that you're like, I don't want to be thinking about it. I am done. And every time you're trying to get your mind off that thing. Well, let's for example, let's say you cheated on your husband or your wife, right? And you're reminded every time they mention, you remember when you cheated on when you was sleeping with Mason. You remember when you were sleeping with Tanya or whatever like that. And you're like, that happened so many years ago. Every time you are mentioning their names is making me think about them. I don't want to think about them anymore. So you're constantly keeping that name in my attention. And you're like, I don't want to talk about it. So, for example, or whatever. And so I know exactly how how do you feel when you're trying to move on, you're trying to forget about things, and you're reminded of things. Okay, so I get it. I totally understand. You're trying to move your past. You're trying to move to the forward, and you're reminded of your past. It's like you're losing weight. You're losing weight. You're becoming your greatest self. And then you got someone saying, oh, yeah, well, you used to be fat. You remember you used to eat all those donuts. You have a donut when you wake up. You have a donut when you go to sleep. You have a donut in the middle of the night. You have a box of donuts, when you just laying in the bed. You're like, thanks. Like I really want to think about that. So you're trying to move forward, but life keeps reminding you of the past. Whether it's reminding you through a spouse, through a child, through a niece or nephew, through your boss, whatever, co-workers, whatever the case may be. You could be like, now you on a straight and narrow. Now you are on a straight and narrow. And now everybody's like, yeah, you remember you used to be a stripper. Yeah, you remember you used to shake that thing, right? You remember that? You remember, and now everybody is saying that about you. And now you have moved on, and now you have became one of the most successful black billionaires in the world. You get what I'm saying? And you used to be a stripper. You get what I'm saying? So people will remind you of your past when you are trying to move forward. You get what I'm saying? So, yes. So, moving forward, this is what you got to do. When you are being reminded of your past, okay, and when people are reminding you of the past, or the enemy, the enemy talk to your mind and tell you you will never be anything, you divorced your husband, you did this, you did that, bad person, you divorced your wife, bad person. So you got to say this, you got to be like, I forgive myself of my past mistakes, and I am going to love myself unconditionally. I forgive myself. I made mistakes. That's the first thing you have to do, because there always might be something reminding you of your past, but you got to forgive you. And as long as you forgive you, forget it. Forget them. Forget it. Forget them. So I have to tell you, you are looking really good today. Really good today. I have to tell you, put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face, okay? Smile. Because everything is going to work out.